Hello, welcome to Tree Davis. What is your name?
Keith.
And where are you from?
I'm from Wisconsin.
And what is your tree story?
My tree story, well, I guess when I was young, I lived in the woods, basically. I lived by a creek, and those were some of the coolest adventures I had in my life, playing in the woods and playing in the trees. I remember there was one tree that had the structure where you could climb up it pretty easily. So my brother and sister and I wanted to create a cool tree house in it. So we found all this scrap wood from near our shed out in the country, and we gathered it up and brought it to this tree and kind of, sloppily nailed things together and made our tree house. It wasn't anything super cool, but we definitely played in it and loved it for at least a couple years afterwards, a couple winters. But yeah, that's my tree story.
My name is Linda Silverstein. I live here in Davis, California, although I'm an East Coast transplant as of about 7 years ago. And I have an interesting tree story to share with you. About a year ago, so in the fall of 2011, my husband and I took our two daughters to see the band Cake, who is from Sacramento, and they were playing at Freeborn Hall on campus at UC Davis. So we went to the concert, and I think it was sometime in the beginning of the second set, they stopped the show all of a sudden. And the lead singer, I think his name is John McCree, explained that during this tour they were going to be giving a fruit tree away at every concert. So what they did was they held up this beautiful tree and they asked people to guess what kind of a tree it was, and they took a lot of wrong answers. Then they took the first two right answers. It happened to be a blood orange tree. And they brought these two different guys who answered correctly up on stage, and they interviewed each guy, who was really just there to see a concert, They interviewed each guy about what kind of person they were and, how they were connected to nature and if they had a relationship with a garden. And they asked them where they live and do you currently tend plants or, do you do anything to work outside? And then they basically let the audience choose by applause which guy should get the tree. So that's the tree story. So we went to go see a band that we really like, a rock and roll band, and they ended up giving a fruit tree away, and they had us all stop and think about how we can tend nature, and bear fruit and stuff like that during the show. So there's the story.
Hi, I'm Bill Heineke. I live here in Davis, and my tree story is about a tree that actually fell over about a year ago, but it was a grand old oak tree down by Puda Creek. And there was a swing on it and a beehive inside the hollowed out trunk, and so you could swing out over the creek and you could drop into the creek if you felt like it. It was deep enough there. But about 2 years ago, the trunk finally gave out and it fell down into the creek, and if you go on Google Earth now you can see it laying out in the water, so it lives on forever in those aerial photos on Google Earth. It was a great tree.